What's up, everybody? I hope y'all doing great. I hope y'all doing awesome. Anyway, I'll give you some information on how people do certain things about buying and renting and stuff like that with their houses and everything, their personal house or their living space. A lot of people that buy a house will put it in a trust or more or less trust or company or whatever. Anyway, the company owns it, the trust owns the house, their personal house. So if anything happens, if they do something wrong, it's hard to sue them and get the house because it's in a trust or business or whatever. And just different reasons why people do it. And one reason is protecting the asset. Another reason is they do it for tax purposes. As in other words, sometimes they might put it in the company as in other words, and the company either they pay rent to the company or whatever, or lease it, and the company has it as an asset where they somehow it collects a little bit of money and they got the tax write-off. And when the person is renting it from their company or leasing it out, they will also be able to write off the lease and all that stuff. And that's different ways that people do it. Another reason they do it is if they're, like I said, they're trying to protect the asset. And I've seen people do this, and people will get upset about this, but I don't care. I've seen this, I've heard of this, how you want to put this? Child support. I've seen people do this to protect their assets and protect how much money they got come in. The company pays them a salary. The company owns the house, owns the vehicles, owns all of that, and the company takes care of it and pays for it. It pays for the light bill and all of that, and it pays them a salary. What happens is child support is based off your income or your W-2 or whatever, and unless you make, the less you got to pay. You still have to pay certain things or whatever. And some people say, well, that's wrong. Well, the thing is, a lot of people that make quite a bit of money or vice versa pay child support. And when they pay child support, it could be good and bad. Some of these women are bad about money, some good. And I've seen it both ways with the women. I've seen some women do excellent when they get a child and get child support. I've seen some do terrible. For example, if you got somebody that's making, say, $100,000 a year and they got paid child support, they might be paying $2,000 a month or more. Depends on how many they got or whatever. And the thing is, sometimes the woman was spending money on the child. Sometimes she's spending it on herself. There's been a lot of cases out there, and I ain't known the one. There's a lot of guys will tell you this, and there's some females that tell you this too, that the child's mother or child's father or whatever, whoever's getting the money, gets the money and spends it on other things. As in other words, they might have a Tahoe, they might have a new Expedition or whatever. They might get their nails done, their hair done, go out to nice restaurants, on vacation or whatever. The problem is when it comes to the child, when the child goes back to the parent that's paying the child support, nothing's been, they like the clothes, all that. They end up like, they want them to spend money on, like, I need to buy school supplies. Where all that money go? You got $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. There's some cases even higher than that for paying for child support. And the woman is spending the money, the child is not getting it. And people say, well, yada, yada, yada. That ain't the thing. It should be for the child. And long story short, I've seen a lot of this go down like this. And I'm just being honest. I hate to say it, but child support can be done different. Number one way child support can be done, it can be done just like it does on the EBT card. It can only be paid for certain things. But it's not. They get the money. Not only do they get child support, the thing is with child support, it's tax-free money. The one that's has the child, is paying the child support, the one that's paying the child support, gives them tax-free money. As in other words, the taxes haven't been paid on that. So if they're getting, say, I don't know, let's say $24,000 a year or $25,000 a year, it don't matter what it is, it's tax-free. As in other words, the parent that's getting it don't have to pay tax on it because the one that's paying it already had to pay taxes on it. And a lot of times they got to keep insurance on the child too. So that's another thing coming out of them. And during tax season, the parent that has the child is getting the child support 99% of the time is collecting the taxes on that child. So at the end of the year, they don't have to worry about paying taxes, and they get to claim that child at the end of the year. And the other parent that's paying the child support has to pay the child support and a lot of times the medical and sometimes half the daycare if they're in daycare. And unfortunately, with a lot of this going on with the child support and all that, the parent that's paying it has no say in a lot of things. As in other words, the child comes over there in his dirty clothes and it should be in nice clothes because of all the money you paid. Or, you know, why are you paying all this stuff, you know, when you get the child? Why I got to pay for all the school supplies and stuff when you got the child? Or why do you got to pay for all this other stuff like pictures and stuff like that, you know, when you get a child? And I'm just being honest about this stuff. Child support is not fair. Some people can get mad about it. Yes, there's some deadbeat parents. Don't get me wrong, there's deadbeat parents. But if child support was redone and done the right way, there'll be like a little EBT card or debit card. There's going to be certain things you can buy. You can pay the electrical bill, you can pay the water bill, and you can buy clothes, food, and pay for rent. But as far as like getting your hair done, your nails done, going on vacation, none of that. Because unfortunately, excuse me, when they go out and when they go on vacation, sometimes they don't take the child with them. You get the child and then they go on vacation and you paid for it. What happens is, child's with you and pretty much you probably, a lot of people, these guys are in the bind, because I know a lot of guys and some girls that were in binds because of the child support, and there's a joke with this stuff too. A lot of times guys and girls same way, they say, I like the new truck you bought, or a new Tahoe you bought, or a new Expedition you bought, or the new or whatever, new Charger or whatever, or I like what you spent, you know, whatever you done. So a nice trip you went on. And they said, what are you talking about? I don't understand what you're talking about. And they said the one sitting over there at a certain address or whatever, more or less about the ex. And the thing is, a lot of guys and some girls have bought nice vehicles they never rode in, went on vacations they never went to, and I hate to say it, some of the vacations that the women go on or guys go on, the child don't go with them. The child stayed with the other parent while they went on vacation. And it's, like I said, it's not right the way it's done. I think if you pay child support, you should be able to write that money off instead of, and I also think if you should be able to write that money off. Whoever gets a kid part most of the year should be able to write that off. But if you pay child support, you should be able to write that off at the end of the year. Say, look, I paid all this child support, I need to write that off. But instead, none of that happens. Like I said, daycare is usually half, and sometimes they got to pay for daycare. And it's just, in medical, they got to pay for all medical a lot of times. It's not right, and it's not fair, but it is the way it is. So guys and girls, be careful out there and know who you're dating. Y'all have a good one. All right, bye-bye.